Alright, so on to blue. Just going to try and go through these somewhat quickly. Aura Finesse. You can look at the visual spoiler to see what all the stats are on each card, I guess. Anyway, this card, I think, it's hard to evaluate for limited. For constructed, it's almost certainly not good. But in limited, it just depends if you have enough auras that make it worthwhile. So, it's a nice, cantrips anyway. It's really cheap. So, cast through time, it's crap. Champion's Drake is bad. 2 for a 1/1 flyer is like not that great. Getting bigger, +3/+3 is kind of nice. I mean, obviously 2 for a 4/4 flyer is insane. So, I mean, if you have enough things to work with it, sure, but don't take them highly and try and build around it or anything. Coral Helm Commander, I think, is pretty insane. 2 for, he's a Grizzly Bear for 2, and then pay 2 more mana, becomes a 3/3 flyer, and then pay 2 more mana on all your merfolk, get +1/+1, and he's a 4/4 flyer. So that guy should make a splash in constructed somewhere, even if it's just type 1 merfolk. Crab Umbra sucks. Deprive is an interesting constructed card. May see a decent amount of play. It's the first counterspells casting cost in a while that has reasonable chance of seeing play. So, let's see. Distortion Strike is fine. If you need something as a finisher for your deck, you could definitely play it. Let's see, Domestication. I already talked about that a while back. Dormant Gomazoa. If you could make yourself the target of a spell, then it's huge. If you don't have a way to make yourself the target of a spell or ability, or just spell, then it's bad. So, just make sure you have some way to trigger it, because you don't want, you're not going to count on your opponent to do that. The artwork is really cool. Drake Umbra is probably one of the best Umbras. Makes your guy huge and gives it flying, and then it has the totem armor, so that's pretty insane. So it is still an enchantment, so I don't know how many bounce spells there are in this format. A lot of its quality will depend on that, or remove from the game kind of effects. Let's see. Echo Mage is fine and limited, as it's 3 for a 2/3, and then fun casual card other than that. I wouldn't take it really highly and limited though. Eel Umbra is one of the better ones just because it has flash, so that's kind of cool. So I've already talked about the Cryptologist, I think. Fleeting Distraction is fine. If you need another card to play, it cycles for 1 blue. So that's fine. It's definitely not a bad card to play. Frostwind Invoker is another flying invoker. 5 for a 3/3 flyer, which is perfectly good already, and then ends the game pretty quickly. So I'd take it reasonably highly, I guess. Mid-pick. Gravitational Shift. Sure, if you have a lot of flyers, go for it. If you don't, then it'll be a cool constructed card. I could see it getting played in constructed with the right format being around, or as a sideboard card, maybe more than anything else. Let's see, Guard Gomazoa is pretty insane. So if you're playing a defensive deck, pick that guy up pretty highly. Hada Spy Patrol starts out as only a 1/1, right, for 2. And then you got to pay 3 to make it the 2/2 unblockable, so that's a lot of mana. I don't think it's that great. So yeah, I wouldn't pick it very highly, and I think a lot of the times I would try not to play it. Just depends. If you think the games are going to go really long and they don't have a way to get rid of it, without it gaining the Shroud, then sure, go for it. Then it'd probably be pretty good. But in a racing situation where you're trading blows, it's pretty bad. Halimore Wave Watch is actually quite good, I think. 2 for a 0/3 blocks early, and then the level up is 2, and then eventually it becomes a monster, so quite solid. I wouldn't pick it up super high, but mid-pick. Jawari Scuttler, it's fine, filler. Lay Bear, counterspell, and then you look at their hand. Not that great. If you need filler, it's fine. Merfolk Observer, 2 for a 2/1, might be better than it looks like. Although there's so many walls, I don't know, maybe all these Grizzly Bears are horrible in the format, you know. Maybe there's going to be no option but to play a long game and just try and have the better card quality, so, because there's just so many walls. But I guess we'll see. I would hate to be that player that's playing all the aggressive cards and your opponent puts 2 walls down and you're screwed. But, you know, maybe there's enough tricks to get around that too, you know, the rebound cards and whatnot. So, filler though, definitely filler. Or, depending on the deck, really good, I don't know. Let's see. Merfolk Sky Scout is pretty good. It's actually a mana accelerator, right? So that's cool. Mnemonic Wall, quite good. See, Narcolepsy is blues removal. It's the closest thing it's ever had to pacifism. So that's quite good. I would take that pretty highly. Phantasmal Abomination is an abomination. It's really bad. So, it's not even... Yeah, this card's terrible. Just don't play it, please. Reality Spasm. It's fine. It can end a game really quick. So, I mean, it could be a nice finisher or whatever. Or a combat trick. So, you know, I wouldn't take it really highly, but, you know, it's the kind of card you wouldn't mind having one of in your deck. Or you would never mind having one of. Recurring Insight. Draw cards equal to the number of cards in their hand, and then do it again. Seems fine for limited. I'd probably play it. Constructed, I don't think so. Regress with all the Umbras should be quite good. So I'd take that higher than you usually would. Also with all the Gigantor bombs, just bouncing it for a turn could easily be the game breaker, right? Renegade Doppelganger. This depends on how many creatures you have. If you expect to cast a creature every turn, then it could be quite good. If you don't, then you won't be. Let's see. Seagate Oracle is quite good. Take him pretty highly. Sea Beyond is pretty amazing. Or pretty solid at least. I mean, play as many as you get probably. Constructed, playable. Shared Discovery is terrible. If it was instant, sure, you know, but no, it's not, so no, it's horrible. Skywatcher Adept starts as a 1/1 for 1, and then you pay 3 to make it a 2/2 flyer, so sure. Perfectly good card. It's very solid. You know, it's like basically very similar to 3 for a 2/2 flyer with some upside. And, you know, a little, you just have to draw it earlier, you know, it be your 1-drop. So, Sphinx of Magosi is insane. Surakar Spellblade, not very good, constructed or limited. It's fine. If you have a ton of removal, it could be insane, but probably not. Training Grounds can be insane if you have the right deck, or just, you know, a cute card that isn't really that great. May find a place in Constructed somewhere, just depending on how that ability, that mana reduction interacts with other cards. Unified Will is terrible. I would never play it in a limited deck, and I probably wouldn't play it in Constructed either. It's just a bad card. It's just like, you know, a win more card, or, you know, sometimes it does something and sometimes it's a nothing card. And its casting cost isn't aggressive enough to justify. This card should be 1 blue to make it worth it. See, Venerated Teacher. If you have enough guys to put counters on, sure, he's perfectly solid.